Just about every father's worst nightmare. Woman discovers dad isn't her biological father after stranger texts her to get a DNA test. How do you know that? That's the first thing that comes to mind with this story. Well, outside of a multitude of other things as well. Okay. A woman in the United States has shared how she discovered her dad isn't her biological father after a stranger texted her to get a DNA test. In a series of videos, TikTok user Lane detailed her remarkable story. Last year, she received an anonymous message from an unknown phone number encouraging her to conduct an ancestry.com test. I don't know. Wait, what? Okay. This fucking text message right here changed my life forever, she said in a 3-minute clip. What? Okay, this is so weird, okay, for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, the big elephant in the room, you know, the person you thought was your dad was being cucked for 25 years or something like that. Like, that's a pretty significant thing. But the fact that she took the advice of, a random ass, text message or series of texts that you received, that's interesting. Okay. About a year ago now, on January 9th, I got a text message telling me to get a DNA test from Ancestry. I'm like, is this a scam? And they're like, nah. And I think it's fake. I FaceTimed my friend, and I'm like, listen to this. And she's like, I swear my gut is telling me this is real. You need to respond. So I responded, and then they write me back. The Brooklyn-based TikToker said the text conversation left her shook. Yeah, okay, she's at least a real chick from Brooklyn. Yo, I got shook, D. They would not have provided me with any sort of proof that this was real, and obviously I called my mom immediately saying, what the fuck, she continued. Lane's mother ultimately confessed that she had an affair with a 25-year-old man when she was in college after, at age 35, receiving her degree in education. Yeah, huh. You're telling me a teacher had an affair on her father. Oh my God. Well, I guess her husband, by proxy, stepdad? Interesting. Yeah, man, you can kind of see the similarities. That's her new father right there. Like, obviously, the facial structure, the eyebrows, well, you can just kind of style them however you want to, but the eye symmetry, obviously the color is a little bit different, but yeah, just the way that the face is composed a little bit. Yeah, no, it's pretty close right there, I would say. Okay. She admitted the man who raised Lane was not her father. Did you ever come clear to the father? Because that dude was out there providing for his family, but wasn't, kept abreast of this situation. I almost fell off my fucking chair. She had an affair with a guy 10 years younger than her when she was in college. And then defrauded her husband or her stepmom? Like, what the fuck? It was a one-time thing. No, it wasn't. Stop it. She kept the kid after all, okay? But he even saw her on campus and she said, is that mine? And she denied it. Yo, she didn't want to fuck up any future prospects, okay? She's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. We'll get through this story before I add any additional commentary over top of this. Lane immediately ordered an ancestry test. 6 weeks later, she received her results. I found out, yes, this man is my father, so I messaged him immediately. He lives in California. He's British. What the fuck? Oh, of course. I just got I got the accent that makes the girls nice and creamy. It's probably a little bit more elegant than that, but whatever, I found out that, this man is my father, so I immediately messaged him. Yeah, lives in California, he's British, what the fuck? He said my mum sent him a Christmas card when I was 2 years old, saying my name in it, and that he's Googled my name ever since. Oh, in 2007, my name popped up and saw a picture of me and knew immediately that I was his daughter. Yo, what the fuck? Lane said her biological father emailed her mom to get in contact with her, but she threatened him. What the fuck? This dude right here has a daughter. I haven't heard anything about a husband yet, which is just another sign of just somebody who's really good at making decisions, raising the kid. Okay, and it also just shows the power that a woman has when it comes to even paternity. The moment that seed leaves your body, you are simultaneously responsible for and powerless over anything that happens afterwards. This is simultaneously... Actually, no, it's just more sad and heartbreaking than anything else, really, because this guy wanted to get in contact with his daughter. Like, there's no two ways around this, okay? And this is something else too. It's like, oh my God, they're single moms work so hard. It's like, no, this shit happens all the fucking time. Okay. The single moms are single by fucking choice. Okay. And obviously she might have had a reputation to uphold or something like that. But being a married mother to a daughter that is making, her husband a cuck by de facto, like, I understand. Okay, actually, no, I'll just read the rest of this article before I add any additional commentary. Like I said, okay. So what did he do? He followed me on social media my entire life. She said, yeah, he wanted to, be a part of your life. I don't know what your response is, but this is sad. Like, I see this as like a guy who, like, she's my daughter. I want to be a part of her life, but he can't because he's under threat by the mom. It's, holy fuck. Yo, this is sad. Watch me date my boyfriend, get married, have babies, everything, all from the outside, not able to know. Oh, man. That makes me... man. Lane then posted a side-by-side photo with her and her biological father, writing, I'm telling you, this picture freaked me the fuck out. Yeah, that's probably the one from up at the top. Her first video attracted 10.5 million views, with many users shocked by Lane's story and keen to find out more details. Horrific. He was denied a daughter. Yeah, no, exactly. I am glad you know the truth, but a hell of a way to find out. Yeah, your mom's fucking terrible? This is heartbreaking, added another TikToker. Well, one remarked, you look so much like your bio dad. Yeah, exactly. Well, not so much now. I'm just saying, his hair is probably a little bit more kempt. It makes me so sad. He misses out on so much. He wanted to be involved, a third said. In a follow-up video, Lane revealed her biological father once called her place of work at the time and asked what time it closes in hopes of hearing her voice. Why are you going to make my heart hurt like that? We're so close to Christmas. He also wanted to get his hair cut at her salon she worked at, but said his wife advised against it because she thought Lane would immediately know who he was her father. I don't know about that, man. Lane said in another video it wasn't her biological father who sent the text messages, but his nephew, who found himself in a similar experience. Lane said the family's secret put a significant strain on the relationship with her mother. As a result, she cut her out of her life. Yeah, I would say she kind of held one of the biggest secrets in your life away from you, knowing willfully, for reasons that I get and I understand on her behalf, because I get it, but then at the same, I understand it. I don't like it, but I do understand it. Those are two different things, okay? I was there for like 5 days. We met up once or twice to hang out and go out to eat or something, and every time I felt like I was prying information out of him, I just felt like he didn't like me, she explained. I was A-okay until the last day when I got very emotional because I guess I was hoping, by the last day it would be different, and when it wasn't, it was just hard. Yeah, man, you guys were, you share biological matter. His blood runs in your veins. Like, you guys have a lot in common, but you grew up very different lives, okay? You're in the Bronx. He's a Brit, or rather a California via Britain, so there's a lot of differences there. And also, if this is a guy from a certain era, okay, he's not going to be all that willing to just, open up. And I don't know what you were really expecting. Like, this guy is like trying to be involved in your life and was just kind of resigned to it never really happening. But okay, hopefully this has a good ending or something, because this is just sad. In a recent update, Lane revealed that she and her father, who raised her, haven't spoken about the news. Oh, okay. But he does know she isn't his biological daughter. When did he find out? Because that's what I want to know about this. One of my sister, who I'm estranged with, this whole family is fucked. And you probably know who I'm going to put all of the blame at the feet of on this one, okay? Immediately told him, so I don't know what his... Oh, I don't know what his reaction was. Oh, so he was cuckolded the entire time. I can only imagine he was just as devastated as me. Well, actually, probably more so. It's like, I went to her shitty fucking dance recitals when I didn't fucking have to. No, anyways. But then there was also the fact that between him and me, not a lot changes. Okay, cool. That's still my dad. I'm still his daughter. My kids are still his grandkids. Oh, that's so nice. See, that's a totally different scenario. Okay, yeah, the rest of this stuff, I just feel like I have two dads now, which is a good thing. Yeah, that's all nice, okay. Now, for all the people that are just coping about the whole, well, I'm a stepdad, and I'm not the dad, I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad who stepped up. if you're knowingly and willfully, okay, entering that scenario, and obviously there are other extenuating circumstances where it's like, okay, the lady was widowed, okay, something bad happened to the father or something like that, and then you stepped in and it was a good situation, you did all your vetting and all that stuff. Normally, I would just say marrying or stepping into the role of being a stepdad's a big fat fucking L, because you're not going to have any of the authority over the kid. You're just going to have all of the fucking responsibility at the end of the day, because they can always just turn around and go, you're not the father. But this is one of those special circumstances, okay? And it sounds like, both of these families, especially the nephew that contacted you to get in touch with your biological father after years and years of knowing that the guy who raised you isn't your father, but rather like, this whole family tree is fucked. And the entire genesis of this is the matriarch at the end of the day, who decided to get some random dick on a college campus 10 years her junior, and that cascaded into all of this fucking nonsense, and now everybody is scattered to all different corners of the fucking world. This is a story, man. Story that's not too terribly uncommon that's out there. And this is from way back in the cut, March 5th, 2007. Like, this is back when Men's Health was doing actual good work. Like, as right now you can find specific articles on their front page, okay? Like, we could just go there and take a look at it, because it's kind of fucking ridiculous, okay? Like, yeah, okay, Men's Health, sorry. They're normally known for, male-centric content, rather, okay? So, yeah, you got Frank Grillo staying shredded on just one meal a day. Good for him, good stuff like that. Okay, so lifting stuff, the Superman hold with a woman wearing a mask. Okay, Men's Health stuff, right? Okay, so 7 ways that you can get vitamin K that's better than a supplement. Awesome, that's fantastic. 5 mushroom supplements actually worth buying. Okay, yeah, no, that's good. There's a lot to the whole mushroom derivatives from a supplement side, so I understand that. Magnesium. On my secondary channel, I have quite a few breakdowns in regards to magnesium, so all that stuff is good. Protein powders help you lose weight. Yeah, depending on when you're using them. Yeah, just try to stay away from whey protein, regular whey protein. It's just a lot of additional dairy type products. Okay. Again, all of this stuff broken down. Second channel. Love talking about that stuff. It's just not the time. But I would never make time for this unless it would just be like a joke or a meme post. How to decolonize your diet. I thought that was a nice little fun play on words or something like that. Like, okay, maybe it's about colon health, okay, to have proper food for digestion. But no, it's actually about getting back to a more indigenous diet. Men's Health, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, at least they're doing some good work back in 2007. By the time that this was published, I wasn't even 17 years old yet. That was published 4 days, before my 17th birthday. Okay, so it's been a minute since they've done anything of real substance. Patrick Carano. Okay, this is the article. We're not going to read all of this, mostly because this video's been going on for just about as long as I want it to, and it's a big boy. It really is a big boy, but a lot of it's very fucking important. Okay, we only got like a third of the way through the scroll. Anyways, are you raising another man's child? More than 1 million American men are investing their love, time, and money in a child who isn't their own. But the worst part about this betrayal, how many people may be in on it? Yep, because in the previous scenario, Lane's mother knew the entire time, and she lied to her daughter and her husband, whoever was the pseudo-father in this situation. Like, if she was upfront and honest about this type of stuff, yeah, she would have took the L in the short term, but who knows? Who knows? Not in her nature. It's a totally different scenario, okay? Like, that's just an unforgivable thing, okay? Patrick Carano, a 42-year-old robotics engineer living in Colorado Springs, was sitting in the bleachers one warm Saturday afternoon in 2003, watching his son's Little League game when the ground opened beneath him. My little boy was up there. He was at bat, and he started yelling at him, "Go, Matthew," not his real name. Knock it out of the park." And another man started screaming for Matthew, louder than me. I looked over, and I looked at him, and I was like, who is this guy? And I looked at my son, and I looked at him, and they were identical. Oh, it's kind of like putting two pictures side by side. The Chad that knocked up his wife and the the robotics engineer who's providing for the life after the alpha seed. That's some more information that I'm sure we're not going to get. Okay, that previous story, The father in that situation, I'm sure he probably had a really good job, even though she was going to go off to be a teacher or some shit like that. Probably the principal at the school or something like that, okay? And then you had the Brit with the suave accent that's now living in California, who, you know, kind of had the hairy shoulders, you know, just kind of a gruff demeanor to him. I'm sure he, you know, he was probably, well, he was 25 years old, right? She was 35. Oh, he was cute. I was drunk. One thing led to another, and here we are some 30 years later, and you ended up raising somebody else's fucking ejaculate. Congratulations for that. But here you have a nice guy, a 42-year-old robotics engineer who is raising this dude's kid. After the ball game, Carano ordered a paternity test, and she's like, "What are you talking about? I would never do something like that." The results came back 2 weeks later. I opened up the letter from LabCorp, and it said 99.9% chance you are not the father. And then the Maury crowd goes, "Whoa!" And then he does, you know, the old fucking, you know, he does the floss on stage. I don't know what they do on Maury anymore. I started crying. My head started spinning. Yeah, dude, you've been cucked. The classic definition, okay? You, under no knowledge of yourself, are raising another man's kid. Carano admits the possibility had crossed his mind before, given his son's dissimilar facial features, darker skin tone, hair like wool, you know, all that stuff. But each time he questioned his wife about it, she vehemently denied the suggestion. Yeah, and then he got a paternity test and is like, "Oh, that's why that bitch was so vociferous in her defense about herself." Even when she showed her the test results, she still denied it. This bitch right here. This is what happens, man. Unbelievable. Like, we aren't going to get all of the details of this relationship, but you can already piece it together in your head. She said, "You forged this." It's like, bro, the lab header's right there. Carano recalls shaking his head in amazement. If he didn't immediately kick that bitch out, I don't know what to tell you. To this day, he remembers the game with a kind of nightmarish clarity. Matthew struck out. So did he. Carano had planned on going over and giving him a hug, along with a few words of fatherly consolation. But when he heard the other guy yelling, he just stood up and walked away. Yep, exactly. I was so disillusioned. I just didn't know what to say. It was horrible. I didn't think anybody could experience what I experienced there. Yeah, if only it was you, though. Some call this paternity fraud. It is. It absolutely is. You can try to soften the blow with lighter language, like they'll say it's paternal discrepancy. Like outside of a switch up at the hospital that affects some people, okay? It's a pretty insignificant number, but realistically, it's the fucking mom sleeping around, okay? That's one of those things. There's no such thing as maternity fraud, because guess what? The kid drops out of her crotch. There's no mistake in that, but in order to make sure that you don't find yourself in this situation, you have to vet these bitches intensely, okay? She might be the one. Oh my god, she's my soulmate. She's the only one who gets me. Not saying every woman will do this, okay? Far from it, okay? There are a lot of good girls out there. You just have to put in the fucking legwork and find them so you don't find yourself in this situation. After recently reviewing 67 studies on the subject, University of Oklahoma researchers found that they call it paternal discrepancy. I'm just going to call it paternal fraud because that's what it is. Rates tend to be much higher among men who have reason to believe there has been more than one dog in the yard. Funny way to put it, okay. But unfortunately, nowadays, there are quite a few dogs in those yards, especially with some of the more affluent women in some of these cities that live alone and subsist on a diet of box wine and jumbo-sized jars of peanut butter. They never consume the peanut butter, but their dogs are well fed. I'll just say that. No surprise there, but leave out these men and you end up with a number that can be safely assumed to represent the rest of us. Yeah, that number is 3.85%. Doesn't sound significant, but another review of 19 studies by a group in Liverpool, John Moores University, backs this up, putting a figure at 3.7% of dads. It may not seem like a lot until you do the math. According to 2005 U.S. Census Bureau report, there are 27,940,000 fathers nationwide with children under the age of 18. That means over 1 million guys out there are taking care of some other man's kid. And just go ahead and extrapolate that out further. further because you think in today's society, this is 2007 we're talking about, and the census just came out, 360 million people in the United States, okay? And if you want to go ahead and control for that, and we could go ahead and run all the numbers on that, but do you think, okay, do you think it's closer to 4%? Do you think it's over 4%? Or do you think that all of these hoes out there on the street, they're just, they're straightening up and they're flying right when it comes to this stuff, okay? Fewer sexual partners for the women out there. I'm sure of that. Compared with this, infidelity by itself is a mere white lie. Sorry, what? A misdemeanor, maybe even forgivable. Oh, not for women. That's an end of a relationship type thing, because exactly for this type of a situation, the guy in this situation is ponying up all the security, all of the money, theoretically putting his life on the fucking line. The only thing that he wants out of his wife is certainty that that fucking kid is his. That his bloodline, his genetics continue to be perpetrated into the future. If you can't provide that, it's game over. Bye. Pack your shit. Get on the fucking road. Bye. Them streets are cold, and guess what? They're about to get a little bit warmer with your ass out on it. But this lie unravels years of commitment in a single stroke. Well, it was probably after multiple strokes, but whatever. Does forgiveness even apply here? No, I don't think so. Many men in Carino's position might not feel the same way. Studies... Oh, no, he continued to be cucked. Oh, sucks to suck, my guy. Carino, himself refuses to let his genetics stand between him and his son. I'm the only man that he knows as his dad, he says. Oh, why should I lose that bond and that love? Yeah, I get it. Like, your name is on the birth certificate. Okay, you are the father and all that stuff. Okay, theoretically, I don't know the entire situation, but if that's what it is, and that's the luxury afforded to the woman in today's day and age, okay? Once your name is on that birth certificate, you're the father. Even if genetically speaking, you have nothing in common with this kid. You are still responsible for him. That's fucked. That is totally fucked. There's no recourse for that. There is no legal restitution for this. So I understand the situation that he's in. I totally fucking get it. It's like you love the kid, okay? The kid looks nothing like you, and then you start to ask some questions, and then you start to take a look at, Chad Chatterson that's sitting next to you on the bleachers, and he's cheering just as loud for your kid. And it's like, you can't take it out on the kid, because it's not his fucking fault, okay? It's just the only person you got to blame in this scenario is yourself for wifing up a hoe. Many men, in Carino's position might not feel the same way. Studies show that evolution has designed men to care deeply about who their children are. Yeah, exactly. And that's something that's not likely to ever fucking change. 2003, for instance, researchers at the State University of New York at Albany recruited 20 men, 20 women, then morphed their facial features with photographs of children. Subsequent testing showed that women responded equally to photos of kids whose faces resemble theirs and those that resemble the faces of strangers. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, that's the whole motherly nature thing, okay? It's almost like men and women are pre-designed or have some sort of biological imperative to carry out regardless of their programming. Kind of weird, huh? The men, on the other hand, reacted far more positively to children whose faces resembled their own. Interesting. Why do you think it plays out literally everywhere else that's out there in the animal kingdom? Okay, lion. I know we're not lions or anything like that, but it's a fucking analogy. Follow me for a second, stupid. The new lion comes into the pride. It has the fight with the dude at the top. Whoever fucking wins, okay, we'll just say that it's the invading lion, okay? He comes in, okay, he ends up winning. He takes all of the bitches for himself, and he kills off all of the fucking offspring, because that ain't him. His line will continue. The guy who has fallen's line will not. Plays out the exact same way for silverback gorillas, okay, for many other large mammals that are out there, okay? That's just the way things are. It is not reproductively beneficial to invest all your resources in a child who is not carrying on your genetic line, says study author Rebecca Birch, PhD. Men throughout the history of the species who have invested all their time and energy in children who weren't theirs no longer have genes in the population. They are, in other words, extinct. You can see why we had to go all the way back to 2007 to get some sort of honesty in the articulation, because otherwise it would have been, no, you can just teach somebody else's kids, and actually that's the Chad move. No, okay, no. It's just not how we're biologically designed, okay? Listen, I make my recommendations based on, the field research of myself and other people in the sphere as well, okay? Single mothers are normally terrible decision makers, okay? Why they aren't still with the biological father, your best choice that's going to be out there, okay, you'll always have that excuse. Oh, he's abusive towards me. Well, what do you mean by that? Oh, he would never let me go out on girls' nights. It's like, because you're more than likely going to be making a terrible fucking decision. Oh, you're just as bad of an abuser. It's like, okay, cool. And then you want me to look after your kid as well, okay? No, you won't have to meet him. Oh, it's like, okay, cool. But you're still going to have to, make excuses. You're still going to have to line up a babysitter, okay? I'm still going to be put at a disadvantage in order to engage with you. It's just not worth it. And then also, you're going to have the experiences and the baggage of that guy in the background as well. I don't want to have to deal with it. You might be a great lady. You might find a situation yourself that's going to be completely different and unique to your scenario. But chances are, okay, speaking in generalities, it's normally a big fat fucking L. I would advise against it, but everybody's going to ultimately do whatever the fuck they want to do. When the stakes are high, there is no greater deception than paternity fraud. It's a lie that reaches right down to your chromosomes. And when the truth finally comes out, the revelation can be devastating. Another story there as well. I just want to get to the facts on this one because this is wild. Morgan Wise, a 44-year-old train engineer. Why is it always these guys, okay? Engineers, robotics designers, okay? Guys who have, these big-brained positions. Well paid, of course. Like train engineer, that's pretty significant, okay? I know some guys who work for Canada. It's called CN, okay? That's the big railroad conglomerate. They get paid extremely well. And then the engineers on top of that, that is 6-digit positions right there. And especially at a young age like that, and in Big Spring, Texas, like this dude probably could pull all the bitches. But you're also an engineer. And we know the type of people that are pulled into the whole engineer sphere. Not exactly the most suave individuals. Not exactly the most loquacious people. I'm just speaking in generalities here. There's probably some absolute fucking turbo Chad that's out there that is an engineer, top of the game, just killing it right now. But chances are, if we got a couple of different examples that are in here, and this is second one where we got like an engineer or somebody in the STEM field, and he's being cucked as well. I like the whole generalization interpretation here. Okay. Might have remained ignorant forever of his fourth child. Hadn't been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. Oh man, that sucks too. So you're looking after somebody else's fucking, I don't want to be too terribly rude because it's a kid after all, but somebody with abnormalities as well. And your name's on the birth certificate and it's not yours. Fucking Oy, dude. Presumed to be the carrier of the CF gene. Wise had his own DNA tested and identified which of the many gene mutations of the disease the boy had inherited. There are more than 1,000. Okay, the test reveals that Wise was not a carrier, which could only mean one thing: the child was not his. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Imagine getting the double whammy. It's like, okay, cool. Your fourth child is born. That's amazing. Okay. Big families are terrific. If you have the means, especially, yes, train engineer, lots of fucking money. In Texas, lots of room to spread out, have your big old family right there. Okay. And then he's born with a crippling condition because let's be honest, cystic fibrosis isn't a fucking walk in the park. Okay. I've known a lot of people with that as well. It's a very weird situation. Growing up, I was exposed to a lot of different kids with a lot of different conditions. Okay, it just comes with the territory, I guess. Okay, and then you go and see, it's like, oh shit, is there anything that I can do in order to help this? It's like, okay, cool, if we can identify the gene that this kid has, it's like maybe we'll have some good insight on how to treat this. And then you find out that your fourth kid isn't yours. So what about the other three? So I guess that's kind of a double whammy because your wife's out there fucking duds and then also producing them. Yikes. I nearly fell out of my chair. Yeah, I don't want to go for that joke. That one, I don't want to do that one. Wise says, recalling his doctor gave him the news. I said, what are you getting at? And he told me, Morgan, you're not the first and you won't be the last. Oh, fuck. Men rely on their doctors to level with them when things are dire. The steady stare, the hand on the shoulder, warm nuzzling on the neck. Like, what are we getting at here? Men's health? Christ almighty. Breaking bad news is their business. But this one right here is like, holy... I wish I was telling you about a stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis, but I'm gonna need you to listen to me on this one. Most doctors are gonna say to themselves, geez, I don't want to cause a problem with this family by disclosing this information. And I just stumbled across, and it's like, why create problems if I don't have to? Yeah, but you also have this, Hippocratic oath thing where it's like I can't do no harm, but then at the same time I can't lie to the motherfucker. The father asked me point blank, is this my son, my biological son? Can you tell, or can you tell by the test? I would have to tell him the truth. It says Mikel Predo, medical doctor, a kidney transplant surgeon at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. I would volunteer that information if I did not come up with a conversation and did not affect what we were going to do. Probably I wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. If you have an inkling, you can make some suggestions, but if you don't want to ruffle any feathers, it's like, wow, hey, Steve, you think little Jaquan is yours? Just, hey, man, I know you guys get along together well, but you know what your wife's been doing lately? Just wondering. Just 6 months after making this statement, Dr. Pareto said he had changed his mind. Now, as a general rule, or group favors full disclosure of paternity issues. Round of applause to this fucking good man right there, okay? Setting these hoes straight and then just giving it to them raw. Like they're, baby mamas. Genuine or not, is an ethical 180 from more doctors need to take, especially when you factor in the potential medical consequences of staying silent. Yeah, and also the whole financial gimmick as well. You have to go back to a 1983 report by Presidential Commission on Ethics in Medicine to find anything contradicting the don't tell policy. I don't know if that's been changed since, and I'd love to continue to go down this rabbit hole on this one, but like I said, this is a long, old article right here, and if we go through everything, we'll be here for, 9 days. According to a 1992 study in the journal Genetic Counseling, nearly 100% of the 199 counselors felt that the confidentiality of the mother outweighed the presumed father's right to know. See, this is what happens, okay? When you have doctors that are out there, looking after, just honesty, as opposed to what you get from counselors that are out there. Why do you think most counselors that are out there, it's an overwhelmingly female dominated industry, okay? Like even back in 1992, it's very interesting that instead of coming clean and being honest about this, the female imperative outweighed anything else. Erica Burton, MS, a genetic counselor at the Brooklyn Hospital Center, recalls a case in which the testing uncovered an irregularity of the child's Y chromosome inherited from the father. When subsequent testing revealed that the father was not the carrier of this irregularity, paternal discrepancy was almost certain. It's not our obligation to tell him with these results. It's like, no, the father's Y chromosome's all good. Didn't you tell us initially that normally if the father's carrying it, or rather if the kid's carrying it, they got it from the father? Yep, we sure did tell you that. And it's like, okay, what do you mean by that? And the mother knows at that point in time, okay, knows that he was number 2 on that fucking train, a choo-choo. You got to put 2 and 2 together. It's our obligation to call him with these results, but she says we're not obligated to suggest to him that it's due to non-paternity. The sisterhood uber alles, man. You got a female-dominated field that is counseling, okay? Why do you think women always push for fucking counseling? There was another story that was out there. I think it was Adele, after she got divorced, needed to go to counseling 5 times a day. I was like, bruh, you just wanted to go there to fucking vent and pay somebody to listen to you. I've never personally been to a counseling session. Mostly because I got family or myself to, to delve through my problems. I don't need to pay somebody else in order to, get some feminized interpretation of the things that are going on. Okay, I think I'll be all right. But as you can see right there, okay, obviously this is going to be a problem for the kid, okay? And if any other medical abnormalities come up in regards to this, and you don't want to Just be simply honest with them? I don't know, man. Okay, but yeah, even going back to that, so 100% of the 199 counselors felt that confidentiality outweighed the mother's presumed, confidentiality of the mother outweighed the presumed father's right to know. These results are all the more dismaying in light of a separate survey showing that 75% of patients, mostly women, felt that doctors should tell the dad. That's very interesting. I wonder how many suspected cuckolding mothers were involved in that study as well. Granted, the study of genetic counselors was 15 years ago, but the comments of those practicing today give little reason to believe anything has changed. Yeah, exactly. You go right to the top there. Another counselor, Suzanne Carter, seeing a through line here of the Albert Einstein College of Medicine cites scientific uncertainty as her justification when someone withholding the truth about the test implications with the standard is 99.9%. Can I say that he's been absolutely excluded his baby's father? Are you fucking kidding me? Just because it's 99.9%, okay, that's not 100. Are you fucking joking me? Another genetic counselor, Elsa Reich, okay, related one case in which a physician explained away genetic inconsistency by lying. Oh, great. How do you explain this? Oh, I just lied to him. Oh, okay, great. High five. Saying it was probably a new mutation. When asked Reich if she would ever resort to that sort of subterfuge herself, she replied, I've never done that. But might I? I might. I'm at a loss for words right now. Because you get the doctors that are like, okay, listen, if we're confronted with this evidence, we have to tell them, okay? It started out from a range of, I might have a gut feeling, and if we don't run those tests, and if I don't suggest them, we don't have to go down that line. But if I'm confronted with the evidence that's there, I am obligated to bring it forward, down to the doctor that was like super based after a while, and then it was just like running those tests, okay, regardless, and you're getting those answers. And then you've got all the counselors that are out there, all of the I'm a PhD counselors, and they're like, no, the women deserve their right to privacy. Because guess what? If the shoe is on the other foot, if under some wild scenario that the kid was, yes, switched in the nursery or something like that, okay? Or if you could work it out that maybe, the kid was born via surrogate and that the mother had nothing to do with any of this stuff. We'll just, get real fucking batty about this. Do you think, based on some of the excerpts that we're seeing from these different high-profile women that are out there, do you think that the same leniency would be afforded to the fathers? I don't think so. Of course, lying is nothing new in the world of medicine. What the fuck? As of late 1970s, doctors infamously withheld cancer diagnosis for the good of the patient. Oh, great. Yeah, you could just continue to waste away with just a terrible chest rattle, and we'll just, hey, man, have some opium. But yeah, let's just wrap this up. The effects of paternal fraud on the father-child relationship have never been formally studied, but common sense suggests that the more time a man has formed a bond with the child, the more he'll try to salvage that bond in the aftermath of paternal fraud. After raising his daughter for 12 years, Shammy, I don't know who you are, okay, still wants her in his life, but acrimony between him and his ex-wife, exactly how that should fucking go, continues to confound that hope. Oh, because, guess what? Oh, she's going to have total say over the situation. Oh, you blew up. You were aggressive. You're going to put the daughter at danger. Oh, my God. She's going to deny him access to the kid that, under dubious circumstances, she was providing for. So now she's going to rescind any sort of custody because, oh, you're not the father. Oh, sorry, it was just my mistake. As for Wise, he later found out that none of his 3 boys were his. Holy if I didn't have shit on the floor, I was about to fucking fall over right there. Holy fuck. Despite the trauma of this revelations, he still thought of himself as their dad. Today, though, the oldest boy, 18, won't have anything to do with him. His youngest was 12 when he died of cystic fibrosis in 2004, killed by the disease he inherited from a stranger. Oh no, his mom knows. He had to pay the ultimate price. Wise says it took his life. Oh my fucking God. If there's any lesson here from a man, it's this: the medical establishment is not on your side. the legal establishment may or may not be on your side, and you can be damn sure that the woman who lied to you isn't on your side, which makes it all the more important that you stick up for yourself. More important, perhaps, asking a few painful questions in the beginning could save you and the ones you love and a lot of pain later. No man can be blamed for believing in the woman he loves. That's why, man, that's why you got to do your vetting, man. Just because, oh my God, she's more beautiful, she's my queen. Dude, never fucking fall for that shit, okay? Love makes men do stupid fucking shit, like raise somebody else's sperm. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't go on, you can't go into love doubting. Just don't. How about that? That might sound callous, it might sound cold. But if you aren't putting yourself first in every situation, you could end up in this situation. But nor can you live without truth. Yeah, exactly. Vet these hoes, man. Because like I said at the beginning, or somewhere along the lines here, not every woman's gonna do this, right? Like, this video is long enough as it is. It just wasn't, 8 billion different fucking examples, okay? Not every woman's going to do this, but every woman could do this. So you got to vet accordingly. Unless, of course, it doesn't much matter, and you can just be a complete cuckold doormat. And feel free, that's some people's kink that's out there. But if you're, just a regular, sensible human being, do your fucking due diligence. How about that? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.